Since Animal Jam has added so many things to the game over the years, not all of them have made total sense, and sometimes they try and interlock things that are new and old, and they don't do it in a way that completely makes sense. You'll see what I mean in this list of the top 10 things in Animal Jam that don't make sense. First up is the Basement of Secrets. Who the heck opened up a shop down here? This is in the middle of nowhere and it's impossible to get to. What a terrible place for business. The same goes with this Cocoa Hut that's literally in the middle of nowhere on top of a mountain. Not to mention this shop, which is open in the middle of a shipwreck at the bottom of the sea. Oh, it gets even worse. If you think that's at the bottom of the sea, Deep Blue. It's literally called Deep Blue and they have a shop at the very deepest point. How are you going to sell things? These are terrible places for business. We all know the Shrine to Mira in the top of Jamaat Township, and every single year people decorate it, for Halloween or for Christmas or for St. Patrick's Day, and it gets really nice and decked out. Yet we still have these arches surrounding this amazing shrine that are broken. I mean, really, every year you have the time to lug this statue out and put a phantom statue in instead, but you don't have time to fix the arches in the main shrine to your main god. You'd think they built this whole shrine to honor their god, and now they're spending all the time to fix it up every holiday. You'd think they'd take the time to just fix up the arches, but who knows what's going on in Jamaat nowadays. Next up is this ladder at Tierney Thighs. How does this ladder work? That seems like a terrible ladder. This ladder only goes one way. Look at this. It goes down, but then you can't get back up. So to me, this one really doesn't make sense as to how this ladder would actually help a researcher get up and down. I feel like it would kind of trick them into going down here and then have the researcher find themselves surrounded by this snake eel and jellyfish and various other dangerous sea creatures without a way to get back up. Don't really see the point in this one. I'm sure you're all familiar with Jamaat Derby in Jamaat Township. Well, it's a little strange though. It's a huge horse race that goes on for quite a little bit of a distance, but if you look on the map, well, there's nowhere for the horses to run. It's just water after this point. So where the heck are the horses running? This makes even less sense when you go into the Soul Arcade and see that the Jamaat Derby is an arcade game, which really doesn't make sense because for some reason they have a pro mode, which you could only use if you're a horse and it dresses up as your horse. So basically this means that you use your actual horse in the race, which wouldn't be possible if it was an arcade game. So where the heck are we running? So say that you really don't like getting muddy, so you decide to play a flying animal when you go through Appendale. Well, for some reason you actually still get muddy when you go through the mud. I mean, you're flying 3 feet above it, yet your entire body is getting muddy. And also, you can get washed off by water even though it's way under you. I feel like it would make a lot more sense if Animal Jam would just make it so that flying animals didn't get effects on them unless they sat in the thing. I mean, they are flying way above it after all. Also, speaking of flying animals and the mud, if you go into the mud and do your play animation, you'll actually see that half of your body gets cut off. Just watch here. There seems to be some sort of invisible barrier as to how far you can fly when you're in the water, and this isn't just for mud. The same goes for water in places like Mount Shavir. You get completely cut off. What's really weird is that the hot tub still does it as well, even though the hot tub is technically not considered water by the game. If you want to see more on this, watch my video 6 Animal Jam Mind Blows. You'd think after 6 years they'd realize it was probably not a good idea to put their sweaters right next to their fire, especially considering they're literally at the top of a mountain, and they probably don't have an easy way to get more of these things. I'd really make sure you kept your furry hats and coats away from the fire. I mean, it does kind of seem logical, right? Especially considering how cold this environment is. This place seems to be really out of date. I mean, first of all, we've got the fact that they're literally on the top of a mountain trying to run a shop, and second of all, they've got all their merchandise right next to the fire, and the only thing they really sell is hot chocolate, but they don't even charge anything for it. Literally, it's free. You don't even have to pay a single gem. Overall, this is just definitely not your ideal business model. You know the old saying, money doesn't grow on trees? Apparently, the diamond shop did not get the memo because they have diamond sprouting trees. And another thing inside the diamond shop, why the heck are there cracks in all the columns? This place literally sells diamonds. You'd think they'd have enough money to fix a few cracks in their really nice store. I mean, honestly, this is easily the best store in Animal Jam, yet the whole place is filled with cracks. Who feeds this poor little goldfish? Also, while we're here, Animal Jam changes the map around a lot, and since this room has existed since the beta, they've had to change it a few times. When they put this little otter shrine in, they actually took out a candle that used to be right here, but the animation is still there if you click it. Look at that. There's still a little flame that shows up if you click above the otter statue, even though there really shouldn't be. I brought this up like 3 times now because Animal Jam, you really need to fix that. Another thing that's really strange is if you play as a Lynx with the Mech Angel wings on, you'll get a Jester Hat of the same color of your Mech Angel wings, even if you don't own the Jester Hat. If you're wearing another head item, it will show up on top of the head item. And for some reason, as soon as I take off the Mech Angel wings, it no longer works. All of a sudden, there's no Jester Hat. But for some strange reason, when you put on the Mech Angel wings, you get a Jester Hat when you play. It must have been something Animal Jam messed up when they were originally making the Lynxes and forgot to fix, but this is definitely one of my favorite little glitches of all time. Well, Beans, that's gonna do it for me here today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope Animal Jam can fix some of the easier ones in this, and hopefully leave some of the funnier ones. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!